This happened when I was still studying at the University of Alaska Southeast. My name is George Cartwell, and what happened on that trip is something that still doesn't make sense to me. Even now, years later, there's a part of that trip that I still can't explain. And honestly, I don't think I want to. Back then, life was repetitive. Classes in the morning, a part-time shift in the evening, then back to a cramped apartment that I shared with two other guys, just to keep the rent affordable. There were three of us living there, me, Daniel, and Marcus. At first, we were just roommates trying to survive university life. But over time, we got close, really close. When you spend every single day with the same people, eating, studying, complaining about life, they start to feel like family. But those first few months, they were painfully boring. Wake up, university, work, sleep, repeat. It felt like life had hit pause. Then one night, Daniel just snapped. "I swear, if I stay in this routine any longer, I'm gonna lose my mind," he said, throwing his bag onto the couch. Marcus laughed, but you could tell he felt the same way. "Then let's do something about it." That's when the idea came up. Camping. At first, I wasn't even into it. Alaska isn't exactly known for being forgiving. Cold, unpredictable weather, wildlife. It's not the kind of place you mess around in. But Daniel was already pulling up maps on his phone. "There's a trail about 3 hours from here," he said. "Not too crowded, real wilderness." Marcus leaned over, interested. "Perfect. No people. Just us." I don't know why, but something about that sentence didn't sit right with me. Still, after months of doing nothing, we all agreed. We packed light, tents, food, basic gear. Nothing crazy, just enough for a short trip. The drive there was actually fun. Music blasting, stupid jokes, that feeling like you've finally broken out of a routine that was suffocating you. But the moment we got closer to the trail, things changed. Just endless trees. The road got quieter. No cars, no cell phone signals. It felt like no one had been out there for years, and I remember this clearly. There was a sign near the entrance of the trail. Wildlife activity reported. Enter at your own risk. Marcus smirked when he saw it. "Relax, it's probably just bears or something." "Yeah," Daniel added casually, "we're not exactly their first choice." I forced a laugh, but something in my chest tightened. Looking back now, I think that was the moment we should have turned back. Because what happened after that wasn't normal. And it definitely wasn't just an animal. By the time we reached the trail, it was already late afternoon. The air felt colder than it should have been. Not freezing, just off. We parked the car near the edge of the trail and started unloading our gear. There was no one else around. No distant sounds, just silence and the dense forest. Endless, silent forest. "Guess we got the whole place to ourselves," Marcus said, stretching his arms like he owned the forest. Daniel didn't say anything. He was just standing there, looking deeper into the woods. "Yo," I called out, "you good?" He blinked, like he snapped out of something. Yeah, I thought I heard something." Marcus laughed. "Already? We just got here." Daniel forced a smile, but it didn't really look convincing. We started hiking in, following a narrow trail that barely looked used. Dry leaves cracked under our boots with every step, and the deeper we went, the quieter it got. Not normal quiet, the kind of quiet where you start hearing your own heartbeat. After about 40 minutes, we found a small clearing, just enough space to set up camp. We dropped our bags, set up the tents, and gathered some wood before it got dark. For a while, everything felt normal again. We lit a small fire, cooked some basic food, and just sat around talking, joking and laughing. For a moment, it actually felt like the trip was worth it. Then, we heard a sound, somewhere behind us. Not loud, but clear enough to hear clearly. Like something moving through the trees. We all heard it. Marcus stopped mid-sentence. "You hear that?" We went quiet. There it was, again. Leaves shifting, branches snapping softly. "Probably just an animal," I said quickly, more to convince myself than them. Daniel slowly turned his head toward the darkness beyond the firelight. "No," he said quietly. "That didn't sound like an animal." A few seconds passed, nothing. Then suddenly, a sharp crack. Way closer this time. Marcus stood up immediately. "All right, that's not funny. I'm not messing around," Daniel replied. We grabbed our flashlights and pointed them toward the trees, but the light didn't help much. It just revealed more darkness, more trees, and for a second, I swear I saw something move. It didn't move like an animal. It just stood there for a second, tall, completely still, and then it was gone. "Did you see that?" I asked, my voice lower than I expected. Marcus shook his head. "See what?" I looked at Daniel. He didn't answer. He was still staring into the woods, like he was waiting for something to move again. And that's when I realized he wasn't scared. He looked focused, like he was trying to recognize it. None of us said anything after that. We just slowly backed away from the trees and sat closer to the fire. No one joked or laughed anymore. It was like something had shifted and we all felt it. "Let's just stay near the fire tonight," Marcus said, trying to sound calm. Daniel didn't respond. He just kept looking into the darkness, like he was expecting something to come back. Eventually, we forced ourselves to settle down. Marcus and I shared one tent. Daniel took the other. I don't know what time it was when I woke up, but something felt wrong. Outside the tent, my sixth sense was telling me something wasn't right. The air felt heavy, almost still, like something unnatural was moving through it. And then I heard footsteps, slowly circling outside our tent. I froze where I was. Marcus shifted beside me. "You hear that?" he whispered. I nodded, barely breathing. The footsteps stopped, right outside our tent. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, a light tap. Not loud, just deliberate. Marcus sat up instantly. "Daniel," he called out, but no answer. He unzipped the tent slightly and looked outside. "Daniel's tent is open." That sentence hit different. We both rushed out. The fire was almost dead, just faint red embers glowing in the dark. Daniel's tent stood there, unzipped, empty. "Daniel," I called out, louder this time, but there was still no response. We grabbed the flashlights and started searching around the campsite. That's when Marcus found footprints on the trail, but not normal ones. They were spaced out, too far apart, like whatever made them was either running or not walking the way a person should. "Maybe he just wandered off," Marcus said, but his voice didn't sound convinced. We followed the prints deeper into the woods, step by step, further away from the camp, and then we found Daniel, or at least what was left of him. He was lying on the ground, his body twisted in a way that didn't look natural. There were deep wounds across his chest and arms. The official report later said it was a bear attack. That's what everyone believes. But they didn't see what we saw, because right next to his body, there were no animal tracks, no signs of a struggle, just those same spaced-out footprints leading deeper into the forest and stopping abruptly, like whatever took him didn't need to walk away. Marcus wanted to report everything, every detail, but I stopped him. Because how do you explain something that doesn't even make sense when you say it out loud? So we told them what they wanted to hear. Animal attack. Case closed. But even now, sometimes I think about that night. About the way Daniel was staring into the woods, like he recognized something. And the part that still messes with me the most is that thing we saw earlier. It wasn't just standing there, it was watching us. And I have this feeling it didn't just follow Daniel into the woods. It came back,